All right. First one through the door is one of our Dutch friends. Welcome to it. And then the German
There we go.
South Africans. Ooh, we even have some Australians in New Zealand. Who else is around? Let's see. More South Africans. Welcome, everybody. Hello, hello. Guten Tag.
Hey everyone.
Some people awake early in the States. Well, I presume you guys are in the States at the moment. Matthias and Daphne, don't know, never know where you guys are at. You guys are always traveling. We do have Mr. Young here. Lots and lots and lots of people. People excited. Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Good to see you.
Elvis, what has Elvis got to do with anything? He's got everything to do with everything. Welcome to it. Cool. If you guys are excited to be here, drop in a little emoji or heart, a thumbs up, whatever you like. If you guys are alive, you guys can do the same thing as well. Oh, there we go. Thank you, guys. Lovely. Great to see everybody. Everyone's awake. Good. Gee, we have lots more Germans on than normal. Great. Welcome. And yes, exactly. Durban representing. I think we're putting Durbanites today. Welcome to it, everybody. The monthly Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangouts. And this is I would say, the Elvis edition. It's all things Vegas, baby.
Come on, do the voice. Surely you can do the voice.
Which one?
The Elvis voice.
I'm not Elvis. I'm not an Elvis impersonator, although we might see a few. So that's what we're talking about today. Look at this background. What do you guys think? I think that's amazing. Jeez,
Amazing.
What all's going on here? Are those ribs? Is that the whole? Marcel, here's a question for you as a barbecue braai purist. How do you feel about waffles and ribs? Like chicken?
Oh, those are waffles and ribs?
And a prawn on the top as well.
It's like the chicken and waffle thing. It's just very weird from a South African point of view.
Yeah.
I just threw
super weird.
everything at that because the buffets have everything on it.
The buffet, some people call
They do?
like Warren Buffet. I mean, or is it Buffett?
Yeah, buffet.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in South Africa, we like a fair bit of pannenkoek. I mean, I think you can translate to Dutch and German as well. But Marcel, how would you feel about a nice steak and pannenkoek or pancakes?
Yeah, I think it'd still be weird. It's
No.
My pancake.
Marcel's so afraid he's invisible and he's mute now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was some sort of censorship going on. Commentary around that kind of thing is prohibited. Marcel is the invisible man today. Very much seen all over, but he is invisible. Sometimes muted. I don't know. Marcel, you're still there. You let us know. All right, we'll touch back with Marcel in a short while as soon as he's back again. But yes, welcome to ladies and gents, and this is just a little bit of educational every month. Sometimes we have some very hot topics. Last month, you guys remember we spoke about tariffs, and then a few days later they were put on pause, and we've seen a little bit of a respite in the market, and we've seen a couple of coins flying along. Did anybody trade some of those fan tokens yesterday? We had everything from Alpine and ASR and a whole bunch of the others really doing well. So hopefully you guys and girls got some. I know some of you guys also hodl trading as well as long-term trading. Marcel's still invisible. Are you here, Roger?
Yeah, sorry, I got cut off by Zoom, not responding. So apologies for that, everyone.
That's all fine. Well, anyway, as we were saying, chatting all things Vegas, and we're looking for Bitcoin trending forecast, Hodlnots, and amongst all the other companies as well, being represented at Bitcoin Conference 2025 in Las Vegas. And that's going to be happening in 20 days from now, actually, ladies and gents. 20 days from now, we're going to be on the world's biggest global stage in terms of Bitcoin, all things Bitcoin. And that's what we're going to be chatting about today. So, on that note, have you guys noticed there's some interesting things just besides the ribs and the pancakes and the shrimp on top? Do you guys notice anything else in the background? Okay, besides Elvis, the bottles of alcohol and everything else that's normally there. Does anybody notice anything else quite special in the background? Let's see. Who's quick? Okay, besides dice and a roulette wheel, what else do we see, ladies and gents?
Hippo. Oh, right. Okay. It might look like a hippo.
Hmm.
Maybe you're not talking about like the griffin type thing above Wendy there.
Mm-mm. No, the one beside you.
I think so, yeah. If you can't see it very well, it could look like a hippo, I suppose.
It's got little
Yeah.
gray things on the side. That's not
Hmm.
ears, I presume.
His little tusks are in the wrong spot for a hippo, isn't it?
Hippos
Bitcoin,
have tusks.
rabbit in the
Okay, all right.
What
What else do we
else? What
see?
else?
No.
Hmm.
The Someone's saying a hippo. That's interesting. Bitcoin rabbit in a hat. The Bitcoin tough bull. Ah, Harry's getting there. I like it. I like it. Behind Wendy. What's behind Wendy? Just rabbit. Yes. Well, that's Fluffy. You should know Fluffy. What else? Yes, Juggy, totally. Happy Las Vegas. Good stuff, Peter. All right. So there are quite a few things around. And I think, Vicky, you're going to tell people what those certain things are, and then we're going to announce what we're doing with those.
Yeah. So, if everyone noticed, there is a Bitcoin Taft bull, and there is a. I don't know if everyone can see it because I can't see it, but hopefully everyone can see it. On the desk in front of John, there is a bottle opener, Bitcoin Taft bottle
Mm,
opener.
Yes.
I see that.
I can see
Okay.
it.
Mm.
And then on the luggage, there is a luggage tag, a Bitcoin luggage tag. And what's not here is an umbrella because it wouldn't fit on the background.
Oh.
And that is the swag that we are using at the conference this year. So we're doing the bull's actually a stress bull or a stress ball. So
Stressful.
it's a stress bull.
Stress ball.
And yeah, because we're helping people relieve their stress. And then we have a luggage tag, a bottle opener, and an umbrella. And you
And
can win some of that today.
well, I mean,
We also
let me
have some
just
cool glasses too.
And
yes,
glasses. I did not use yes, I forgot the glasses.
yes. So
We've
wherever you
got
see
cool
Vicky,
glasses.
all right. So Vicky's over there right now. That's the luggage tag we're talking about. There's also a whole bunch of chocolate coins, right? Aren't we doing
Mm.
chocolate coins too?
Chocolate coins.
We are certainly
Mm-hmm.
doing chocolate bitcoins and chocolate coins, both. Oops.
That's
Now I'm
true.
over near the
There you go.
coins.
And there we
You're
go.
In my
jumping.
And there's
in my element, near the chocolate.
well, now you've moved over to the bottle opener for the beers that are already open over there. So that's there. And yeah, sunglasses and umbrella, right? So that's a whole bunch of very cool Bitcoin Trader Forecast swag. Now, why are we telling you all this? Well, would anybody like to win some of that swag for your very self? Yes? No? Pop it in the Q&A section down below. Let us know if you'd like to win some of that. Let's see if anybody's excited about winning a whole bunch of their very own. Well, we've got a thumbs up. Thank you. And another thumbs up. That's great. A couple of yeses. Absolutely. Donasian. That's a definite yes. Very cool. Please. All right. So, a whole bunch of stuff, right? So, if you'd like to win a bag of swag or a swag bag, from
Swag bag.
Winners. Yeah, a swag bag. A collection of swag in a bag. If you'd like to win some of that, very easy. Rick, who doesn't? All right. I love winning. That should be a bumper sticker. All right. So before we do that, Wendy, quick reminder. Within Hodlnots, how many different products do we have? What do we have?
I don't
You,
know. We have a
you,
lot.
you don't
How many
know.
do we have?
Let's
If
run
you
through
don't
them
know,
How
quickly.
many?
Rich.
Let's run through
How
them
many?
quickly for
How
everybody.
many products? Okay, so we have the Huddle Fire. We
Mhm.
have the Huddle Fire Leverage.
Uh,
We have the live course. We have now the online self-paced course.
mhm,
We have the BB Rider.
mhm.
And let's see, what else do we have? We have the Hodlnator.
Yes.
We have yeah, just trying to think what else. PB Rider. We have
There's one more,
uh one more. Um
Vicky.
um um
Let's see if Vicky remembers.
Mhm.
You guys deal with it all the time. So it's one of the other courses, and that would be the premium course as well. So it's three different courses.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
the premium
Yeah,
courses,
exactly. But
yes.
they are.
Okay.
Justin says 27 different products.
Oh boy,
Maybe one day, who
Justin, you're
knows?
gonna kill us. Yeah.
So, with that said, all right, everybody knows we've got the great BB Writer, we've got the Hodl Fire Spot, Hodl Fire Leverage, we've got the three different courses that we offer. Well, it's the same course, just in three different formats, right? So here's the
Right.
question you all need to answer to potentially win a bag of swag. All right. And if there are some great answers, we might even have two bags of swag. Let's just see. So, while this presentation and show is going on, we'd like to hear from you guys, knowing the Hodlnots products. Now, people are going to be attending Bitcoin Conference 2025. We're looking at between 30 and 35,000 people, some of the biggest names in the industry. We'll go over some of that shortly as well. But we're talking about a whole bunch of people who are very much centered around Bitcoin. Now, we're hoping to introduce them to Bitcoin Trade and Forecast, and obviously Hodlnots is the foundational training wing with its many products as well. To all of these attendees at the Bitcoin Conference 2025, which of the Hodlnots products, here's your winning question entry, which of the Hodlnots products do you think that attendees of Bitcoin 2025 will most make use of or appreciate, or do you think is the best value for them? Where do you think they should start within Hodlnots? All right, we've got all six of those products, or seven of those products actually, including the Hodlnots indicator as well. So pop your answer in the Q&A section. Which of the Hodlnots products do you think is the best, or the ones that people should be aiming for really at Bitcoin 2025? Your answer will put you into that draw in the next half an hour or so. Okay, but give us a reason. Don't just tell us. Yeah, Vicky?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, that was exactly what I was going to say. And why? Not just blurting out a product. Why would they want to see it? Thanks, John. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. So tell us why. Why do you think they would get best benefit from that product? All right. Otherwise, you could just literally just mention all of them. All right. So tell us, what do you think? And there are a couple of you guys that enter these competitions regularly. Someone, a little bit of effort, you get a bag of swag with quite a bit actually sent over to you. So just keep that in mind. All right. So for the meantime, Marcel, are you still here?
I am, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Just checking. I just want to make sure that, all right, there we go. So before we get into more about Bitcoin 2025, a big conference happening in Las Vegas at the Venetian, 27 to 29 May, we're going to hear from Marcel. Tell us what's been happening over in the den in terms of percentages. Marcel, do you want me to share, or are you able to share, sir?
If you can share, John, that'll be good. I'm just worried if I touch a button, I'm gonna disappear again.
All right, give me a second and we will do that. All right. Oops. All right, keep those entries coming, ladies and gents. We'd love to see all of your thoughts around that. Okay, Marcel, over to you, sir.
Thanks, John.
Do I have the right order? Let me just double
Yeah,
check.
that's perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's have a look at what happened in the den since we've had this call last month. So for the period ending the 26th of April, it was actually quite a good period for the scalpers in the den. Here you can see, if we just look from the top, there was a 10.5%, there was another 3 and a 7%, which adds to 10, 13%, 37%, 8%, 14%. Quick in and out on one coin, 7.2%. There was a almost 8% grab and go. So for those of you that don't know, the grab and go is literally you buy into the coin, you ride it for like a minute, and then you exit. So that was 8% in 1 minute. There's another 8.62%, 8.7% on the same token. You'll often see that some of these are on the same token. That's because in the den, when we find something that runs, we will mention it or one of the members will mention it in the den, and everyone can profit from it. So it's a win-win situation. Then if you can go to the next one, if you don't mind, John. Thank you. This was literally last week. Also, actually, not a bad week. There was a 4%, there was a 25% on a short on alpaca when it dropped. There was a 10% on alpaca when it ran. Another 7%. So that was quite cool. Again, alpaca, another 12% and 3% from one member. So alpaca was a good one this week. XVG, there was a 3%, another 3% on BMT. So some smaller ones coming in there. But all in all, from a scalping perspective, in the den, we're still making money, whether Bitcoin's going up, down, or sideways. We managed to profit either way. That
Absolutely.
is it from the den percentages.
Mm.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
maybe mention a little bit about some of the other stuff that's going on in the lodge and then?
Absolutely. Let everybody know. Create a little bit of FOMO. We're having too much fun over that side.
Cool. So basically, for those of you that are in the den lodge, you will obviously know this. But what we've done actually since forever is we've ran a contest for the members in the lodge. And we give away small little prizes. Sometimes it's a bigger prize. Sometimes it's just like an incentive thing. So if I just think back at the last couple of contests, there was, I think the very latest one was the average trades. So we asked people or the members to take like 3 trades that they've done and then just post the average with a certain hashtag, and that got them an entry into the contest. We had in the past, we've had like non-crypto fun type contests where they mention their favorite recipe or their favorite music to try to. So we've done that.
And the
We've
prizes,
done,
Marcel, what kind of, I mean, we have
yeah.
great participation from members in the lodge.
So the prizes range from, in the past we've had like actual USDT. We've had BTF that we given away in the past. So currently, the latest ones we gave away one-on-one calls with Wendy, which is obviously valid at priceless. And then we also given away free subscriptions. The last ones we given away was Hodlfire subscriptions, like 30-day subscriptions, which is quite a substantial prize, I think. So yes, we chop and change the prizes like every few months just to keep things a little bit more interesting. But it's definitely some good stuff to win, and it's fun. Some of the contests are fun. Some of them are crypto related. Some of them are more life related or location related. We ask people to share photographs of where they live, their cities, and interesting stuff from wherever they are. So yeah, we just keep it fun.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been some great photos and recipes shared. It's great to see. I mean, we've got such a great global community within the den and the lodge as well. I mean, just looking at the bunch of you. I mean, you guys can't look around and see who all's here, but there's a lot of you here. And yeah, we've got someone from Zimbabwe even. We've got, yeah, I mean, South Africans, obviously, plenty of you, but then lots of Europeans. The Americans are being represented well, the Australians. It's great to be able to see, and with the course that we've just done now, we've got 2 Germans. One of them was on the call, is still here, and it's been great to be able to see them traveling around Europe. They're traveling separately, and yeah, we've seen pictures and videos and stuff of them traveling around in these RVs and camper vans, and just pretty amazing, Vicky.
Yeah, absolutely. That it was so much fun to see them together and separately, actually. And it just goes to show that you can do this anywhere. They were literally sitting on the folding chairs out in the wilderness on their camping table doing the course. So it was really fun to see that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And they moved around a couple times too. They just weren't in the same spot. So we'd wake up and the next day they'd be somewhere else, and it was so much fun to see. And that's really one of the benefits of knowing how to trade. You can do it literally anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection and a device.
Absolutely. And sorry, the other German is with the other German at the moment because I think they're a few campsites away from each other. So hello, Michael.
Mm.
Welcome to it as well. But yeah, it's great. And listen, speaking about great, there's some really good answers coming in for this competition. So for those of you who might have joined a little late, there is a bag of swag. It's Bitcoin Trend and Forecast swag from the upcoming Bitcoin conference. It's going to be held in Las Vegas, and we're going to be represented there. That's a bottle opener, luggage tag, chocolate coins, both normal coins and chocolate bitcoins. What else have we got? Sunglasses. What am I missing?
Umbrella.
The umbrella that's
Umbrella.
not there, of course. A really cool, all branded with Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, and of course that Stress Bull. So just to enter, tell us which of the Hodlnots products you think is going to be quite popular, the one we should be really getting people involved with at Bitcoin Trend and Forecast, Bitcoin conference happening later this month. And just, I'm not going to mention any names for the moment, but just some of the answers as well. So the HODL Fire would suit Bitcoiners for entries and exits, and it's accessible to anybody because the price is so amazingly small. Absolutely. In terms of the scalping course and the HODL Fire together give you value for money as it generates freedom in the long run. The course will help one understand the charts and trends. What else? There was a couple of very similar answers. I quite like this. We think the HODL Fire will be most popular in terms of value and price because it's very affordable. It's extremely easy to use, and above all, it is a must for traders. Then once people are introduced to Bitcoin Trend and Forecast products, we think the Hodlnots course live is the best product, not only because the course is top notch, the Academy, the Den are there for continued support from the community. Amazing. Really, really cool. Wendy, I mean, you've been reading through these answers. What do you think? These are some good
Oh,
answers.
I think it's absolutely good answers. Just most everybody really likes the Auto Fire because the price, the price, and the fact that they get a lot of value for money with built-in alerts, with able to use it on any trading style. So for me, the Auto Fire is number one. I'm thinking everybody can use it. Everybody can, even beginners who have not yet done the course can use that. But as you get into it, yes, it's training and education are key to all different kinds of trading, but especially if you want to do daily profits.
Mm.
So it's just, yeah, the comments that are coming through from Mateus and Daphne, just lots of them.
Mm.
Everybody that's put in from anywhere from, gosh, all over the country. Look at them all coming in.
Yes, it's great.
Foundational course. A lot of them like the course.
Absolutely. It's great to see such great answers from around the world. Indeed, even the Hodlnator gets a shout out. Thanks for that. Well, speaking about shout outs, let's get into today's topic a little more in depth. So Vicky is going to be, she's been working furiously behind the back in the background around this. I mean, the team is all pretty much all going, Marcel, I'm going to miss you. Yeah, we're going to be finding out what all is happening, a little bit more about Bitcoin itself, because again, this isn't a crypto conference, ladies and gents. Bitcoin conference is all about Bitcoin, and that goes from policy to philosophy to mining to a whole bunch of other things. And we're quite excited to be able to be attending among some of the biggest names in the world in the crypto space. So, Vicky, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. So yes, this is an unusual thing for us actually because it is a Bitcoin conference, as John said. It's not a crypto conference, and they do make that distinct differentiation because we're actually not even allowed to talk about the altcoins. It's all about Bitcoin, and this year especially, they're doing something called embracing game theory. And the reason why they're doing that is because game theory is, if you don't know what game theory is, it's all about how individual decisions affect other people. So if you're a player in a game, in game theory, your course of action or strategy, you have to take into account the choice of others as well. So it's basically you're not working together with people because you're actually not sharing your answers. As you're making your decisions, you don't know what the other person's decision is. but you actually have to think about how your decision will affect this person and that person and that person, and they're also doing the same for you. And it's really about making decisions that is going to benefit everyone. And there are great examples of game theory in history, actually, and one of them is it's quite a famous one called the prisoner's dilemma, where the individual is, or if they have self-interest, they're going to fail. And they did, because everyone was out for themselves and they actually did not do what they needed to do. So this year at Bitcoin conference, and actually most Bitcoin conferences, it's all about how to promote Bitcoin and how my decision is going to affect other people's decisions and vice versa. But in reality, how the total decision will make Bitcoin go into the future, be part of the world economy, and really benefit everyone. So that is actually what the game theory part of this is. So it's actually going to be really exciting. Myself, I've never been in just a Bitcoin conference, so it's going to be interesting to hear what everyone has to say about just Bitcoin. I actually have to admit, I have to brush up on my Bitcoin facts and figures and things, because as a scalper, as we know, most people on the call are scalpers. We don't really scalp Bitcoin. So, we scalp the altcoins, but it'll be really interesting to see the other side of the coin as such. So that's the game theory section of it. So it is Las Vegas. As John said, it's the biggest one in the US. So it's about 35,000 people are slated to attend this conference over the 3 days. And we're actually really excited because we haven't been part of that big. We went to Sydney last year and that was about 12,000. We were run off our feet. So 30,000 is going to be interesting, although it is an extra day. So it should be really interesting. So it's all about game theory this year. So just a little bit of a sneak peek, and this is not even, I think, a tenth of the people that are going to be speakers, but these are the main speakers. So we have people like, and I'm going to get the pronunciations of the names probably wrong, Ross. I'm not going to try his surname. Now, he's an interesting guy. I don't know if you know who Ross is. So Ross is the founder of Silk Road, and Silk Road is the anonymous online marketplace that was really the first major use case for Bitcoin way back. But as you might know, if you know about Silk Road, there was a lot of illegal things happening, allegedly, on Silk Road. And he actually did get prosecuted for it, and he received 2 life sentences without parole, plus I think 40 years. So it was, the rest of his life. But as soon as Trump got in office, he pardoned him. So on around January, he pardoned him, and now he's actually speaking at the conference. So he's going to be a super interesting guy to listen to, because he's actually all about freedom and decentralization and how to unify the crypto industry to try to help the world. So he actually has a lunch that I'd love to go to, actually, to hear him speak. So that's Raw. So he's going to be speaking. I think everyone has heard of Michael Saylor, who is the executive chairman, or CEO of Strategy, which used to be MicroStrategy, but they rebranded back in February this year. So they're just called Strategy now. And he is one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin. I think at the moment it's about 555,000 Bitcoin that his company owns. It goes up because he buys it all the time. And he does things like he's a book author, and he also has a nonprofit organization that does help students go to school. So he does that as well. So he's going to be speaking. He does the rounds quite often. We have Cynthia Loomis down here, who is a senator from Wyoming. She's a senator from Wyoming, and she is extremely Bitcoin friendly, so she'll be speaking. And then over here on the left, we have David Sachs, who is actually South African born, but he does live in the States. And he is basically representing the White House at this conference, along with a few other people. And they call him the czar, the White House czar of crypto. So he made his money, interestingly enough, as part of PayPal. So he obviously knows Elon quite well.
Mm.
And he got quite wealthy when eBay purchased PayPal. But also interestingly, he had a lot of crypto. And before he took the position at the White House, he sold about $200 million worth of crypto before he took the position because he did not want to appear to be self-serving. So he sold almost all of his crypto. So any policies that they're going to be making at the White House, he didn't want anyone to say, well, you have crypto, that's why you're making that decision. So he actually did put his money, figuratively, where his mouth was, and he sold it. So good for him. So now he's a part of the policymakers. And then we have Vladimir. So Vladimir is the CEO of Robinhood. You might have heard of Robinhood a while back. They are a exchange, but they did get into a little bit of problem for misleading. Well, they were accused of financially misleading the public with their balances, and they did have to pay a huge fine, but they're still around and they're going strong. So that's Robinhood. And who else is there? Bo Hines is just here, and he's also part of the White House Council Advisors for Digital Assets. So he's also representing the White House in this here. And then Paolo, who is right here, he is the Chief Executive Officer of Tether, which is USDT. So we're all well aware of USDT.
Mm.
It's the world's largest and most widely used stablecoin, and we all use it. So he's going to be speaking. He's also, I didn't realize this until I did some research. He's also the chief technology officer for Bitfinex. So he gets around as well. And then the last one I think is Jack Mallers, who is the hoodie. Yep, Jack Mallers. He's the CEO of Strike. So Strike, he works on the Lightning Network. He had a lot to do with the Lightning Network. And if you did our Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout a couple Hangouts ago, we did talk about the Lightning Network, which is a offshoot of the Bitcoin network. So he did develop a lot of the Lightning Network. And he has a company called Strike, Strike, and it is basically a way for people to earn interest on their Bitcoin by deposit or crypto by depositing into lending pools. So you can deposit your crypto, you can earn interest by doing that. And Strike is also a payment gateway. So people can use Bitcoin to pay for things via his platform. So it's actually quite an interesting. Oh, actually, then there's two other ones. So they just announced. Oh, actually, there's more. So the Winklevoss twins, which I always think of when I see what was that movie when they talked about Facebook, because they were actually in that movie as up and coming when they were going to school. But they actually did found Gemini, which is another exchange. So they're going to be there as well. What was that social network, I think the
Yes,
movie
social
was
network.
called, when social network. So they were going to school with Zuckerberg, and their competition, I guess, with him. But they're going to be speaking here. And then they just announced that the Trump brothers will be there as well. So Eric and Donald Trump are going to be at the conference as well. And they are both heavily invested in real estate and political commentation. What's the word? Political
Commentary?
commentary.
Oh,
Commentary.
comment.
But, and but they are very proactive in getting the word out on decentralized technologies and sovereignty, and that's obviously all about Bitcoin. So they are just the headliners at this conference. There's a lot of other ones, and if you go to the website, you can see everyone. But it's going to be an interesting group of people talking this year, and they probably, I have a feeling that they haven't actually announced everyone, I would say. So that's going to happen there. And then the other interesting thing about the conference is this. It's called Coding Country. And America 250 is basically a congressional commission that has been tasked with celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States. So next year, the Declaration of Independence was signed on the 4th of July in 1776. So next year is going to be the 250th anniversary of that. And interesting, they have partnered with Bitcoiners and crypto movers and shakers and policymakers. And I just almost said something French. Their reason to be is they want to shape the way the US is going to handle things like energy and artificial intelligence and privacy and identity and internet access. So this is really the first time that they're headlining at a crypto conference or a Bitcoin conference. So this is really exciting because Bitcoin has all of a sudden just jumped into the central stage with Trump creating the strategic Bitcoin reserve and Bitcoin being adopted by lots of governments around the world. So Bitcoin is now going to have an effect or at least a part in shaping the US future, really. So that's why it's so exciting for that. So they're going to have a whole bunch of things around that at the conference. So it's going to be a really interesting conference to be at because there are so many policymakers and hopefully, they'll announce a lot of things for the US because as we know, apologies to our US members, it's been so closed down for so long now that hopefully it's going to start opening back up for you all. We're crossing our fingers on that one. So the last bit I just wanted to, okay, so this is the conference. So this is actually what's happening. We're going to be in something called the Expo Hall, which is a big trade show basically with everyone else. But these are all the things that are happening around us as well. So there's going to be lots of stages. There's going to be things like the Bitcoin Bazaar, which is actually a marketplace where you can use your Bitcoin to buy things. There's a little summer camp for kids, but there's lots and lots of things happening at the conference. It's huge. It's the biggest one in the world, really. So it's in Las Vegas. So my gosh, a conference within a conference within a conference. So just wanted to end with some Bitcoin fun facts. And if you have been on our calls before, you've probably seen a lot of these because we do talk about this a little bit. So Bitcoin was really kind of thought about in 2008, so way back in 2008. And the first block was mined in 2009. And then we all know about the pizza day, which is the first transaction really of Bitcoin commercially, let's say. So we actually celebrated Pizza Day a few years ago, actually. I don't think we did it this year. We kind of forgot about this year, but that's when the gentleman bought a pizza with his 10,000 Bitcoin. So that was maybe not the best use of Bitcoin, but who knew? And then in 2013, it surpassed $1,000. Can you imagine Bitcoin at $1,000? And 2013 is really not that long ago, if you think about it. And what else went up from $1,000 to where it is now in just under 12 years? So there you go. And as we know, there's only going to ever be 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence. And just down here, the last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140. So we don't really have to worry, you and I don't have to worry about Bitcoin running out in our lifetime, but it will. And interestingly, if I jump over here, it is estimated that about 20% of Bitcoin is completely lost forever. And it's for things like, we've all heard the story about the guy that was cleaning out his house and he threw out his ledger or his Trezor or whatever it was, his wallet, into the trash, and it went to the tip or dump or whatever you call it, and it's still there, and he's actually been trying to search for it. So it's things like that. So people losing their wallets, or Bitcoin being seized, or so about 20% of all Bitcoin at the moment is gone. It's either lost or inaccessible. So I think that's interesting. So please make sure you have your keys to your wallet so you're not one of those people. And as we know, the smallest Bitcoin unit is called a Satoshi, which is 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So it's tiny, tiny. A new block is added every 10 minutes. So quite a while ago, we talked about the Bitcoin blockchain and what happens when a Bitcoin is mined. And what was that was actually around the halving last year. So that was in May last year. That's a long time ago. That's almost a year ago. So we talked about Bitcoin transactions take about 10 minutes and how they're how they're mined and how the miners mine them and what they get for it. And in the halving, they do it through proof of work. So they have to not so much solve a mathematical equation, but they have to figure out what the hash is, which is that really, really long number. And Bitcoin is a decentralized network, which that people don't know. No one really owns Bitcoin. And it's a bunch of people around the world that get together and say, yep, that is a transaction, or no, it's not. So it's actually not relying on one person, which is actually why it's so good. The first Bitcoin went into space in 2016. So a company called Genesis Mining sent some Bitcoin wallets into space and did some transactions with them. And then there's a town in El Salvador called the Bitcoin town because they were one of the first countries to adopt Bitcoin as well. And then interestingly, they are now releasing upgrades to the Bitcoin network to stop quantum computing threats. So the quantum computers are getting so powerful that they're afraid that they're going to be able to crack or hack Bitcoin, the blockchain. So they're actually now working on releasing updates to the blockchain so they can thwart their threats. And then there's about 300,000 transactions plus or minus. And the largest Bitcoin transaction ever processed was $1 billion. And the fee was just 80. So that's a lot better than a lot of networks. So a lot of those things you've probably heard of already if you've been watching the Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout, because we talk about them quite often. But that's some interesting facts about Bitcoin.
I find that yeah, I mean, so much information. I mean, but this point here, where it was like $1 billion worth of transactions for just $80, that's insane. I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
why cryptocurrency, I mean, and these transactions are, in my opinion, are the way to go. I mean, we know it takes a couple of minutes to send, money across the world. But very, very cool. I mean, yeah, ladies and gents, thank you, Vicky, and everybody. I mean, that was
Mm.
really, really cool.
Thank you.
And we're gonna be learning so much more about Bitcoin. Some of us are studying hard ahead of Bitcoin conference. Woo. Um, there we go. Front and center.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens when you turn your
Front
camera off. Otherwise,
center.
I don't know if you guys notice, whenever people are talking, my mouth moves a lot. So like I just end up turning it off. But yeah, we're trying to learn a little bit more about Bitcoin itself, because that is what we're all going to be talking about at Bitcoin Conference 2025 in Las Vegas. And we're going to be coming back uh, to you all probably in June again for our next one and tell you all about what went down, what all we learned. And again, this is the community where we really try and share with you things that we learn about, not just cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin and stuff in general. Wendy, what is it that you're looking forward to at Bitcoin 2025?
I'm looking forward to the first day with the businesses. I'd like to see what's going on within the Bitcoin area and all the different B2B booths. So that's really what I'm looking forward to, and to see how we can collaborate with our company into some of those other businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah,
How about you, John? How about you? What are you looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to learning more and more about Bitcoin, because the more I learn, the more I realize how little I know. And this is going to be eye-opening. I mean, just looking at the caliber of speakers, it's not just like, oh, let's just talk about Bitcoin. There's some big movements. That whole code and country I find really interesting that Vicky was talking about. I dropped a couple of links into the chat. If you guys want to go have a look more about not just code and country and the speakers, but you can check out what all is happening. There are a whole bunch. Go check the program for that matter as well in terms of the agenda, and see some of the names that are going to be there. So I'm looking forward to chatting to people about who we are, but more about learning about the industry that is Bitcoin specific. So very, very excited. Vicky, what about yourself? What are you looking forward to?
I'm along the lines of you because as a trader, I have to admit that I focus on the trading side of coins. But Bitcoin is really so much more than just trading. It's a lot of networks, there's a lot of blockchain, it's a lot of payment systems, it's enabling people around the world to access money that they wouldn't necessarily be able to access. It's all the developers and it's all the technology around how this is made, and that's actually really what I'm interested. And also where it's going to go in the future. How are governments going to use Bitcoin and blockchain to govern their countries. So I think that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, these policy shifts and the philosophy behind Bitcoin. And remember, ladies and gents, it's not just a token. It's a representation of a movement. And we're not going to get too deep into things, but looking at El Salvador and a number of other countries. I mean, the States is really pushing hard on these strategic Bitcoin reserves within states, within the actual government itself. But and talking about game theory, as these countries start to realize that more and more other countries are adopting Bitcoin in one form or another, they start to then embrace that as well. And we've spoken about this a few times, and that analogy of, the internet in the 90s, how right in the beginning of the 90s there were only one or two houses that had, and it was dial up. You guys remember, get off the telephone, because you want to be on the internet and that kind of thing, and slowly became more and more adopted. Towards like the end of the 90s, early 2000s, and now we have the internet on our wrists, and that kind of thing. And that's where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and stuff is going. And it's exciting to be part of it in the early days. Yes, the first Genesis block was mined in 2009, but we're still early days, ladies and gents. And so we're looking forward to, yeah, gleaning so much information from all of these people who really know what they're talking about within the Bitcoin space at Bitcoin Conference 2025. So very exciting stuff. Now, speaking of exciting, there were some really great entries. And I think all of these names are going to have to go into the wheel of names, and we're going to have to spin that wheel and see who, maybe one, maybe two, have won a bag of swag. So I think, Vicky, it's over to you in that wheel of names.
Ooh, if you can give me 2 seconds, there's so many entries I have to put more on. So if we can fill in some time, I will do that now.
All right.
Someone sing something, someone sing or someone dance. Oh, we can't dance, but
No singing here, sorry. Absolutely not. But hey, if anybody out there is going to go to the Bitcoin conference, we'd love to know. We keep our eye out for you. Come by our booth and see us and say hello. But if anybody's going for sure, give us a holler. Let us know. We'd
Absolutely.
love to see you.
Yeah, valid point. If you are planning on attending and you're going to be there, anyways, let us know. Send us a support ticket. We'd love to actually meet up with you at some point or another. So please drop a support ticket in your back office if you or one of your family members or someone within Bitcoin Trend and Forecast are planning on going. We might even have a little bag of swag for you too. Come and visit us. We'll be
Yeah.
announcing what stand we're going to be at. We've been hinted, they haven't quite finalized. There are just so many attendees and people who are exhibiting. So once that is confirmed, we'll let everybody know around that as well. Danny, if you want goodies, you're going to have to enter as well. You might have, I don't know, you got 5 seconds. So, and I think
yes,
Vicky was there.
quick.
5 seconds.
I'm putting everyone's name on the wheel at the moment. Yeah. If you want to get in your last minute entry, my answer is what? Danny, my snorer? Is that a word
My
that I
snorer is 3. My
Oh, my
snorer.
answer.
Snorer.
My answer
Well,
is typing too
Marcel,
quickly.
Marcel would know what a
I was
snore
gonna
is.
say
Marcel, tell everybody what a
that's
snore is.
Me,
snower.
Well, I
A
mean, you're in the city
snower.
of it, aren't you?
Snawer.
I snore.
Yes, a snore.
So a snore is the Afrikaans word for mustache.
Oh.
So,
Oh, you're
so the actual
kidding.
the city that I'm in, Pretoria, wasn't it's almost like a nickname that we had in like the 80s and 90s. And the city is called Snore City. It's a mustache city, directly translated. Because
That's so
everyone in
cute.
the 80s here looked like some of the Australians now. They like running mustaches and mullets. So they were doing that in the 80s in Pretoria. So Pretoria sort of got that nickname. Yeah, it's
I think that was unintended, but we learned something new today. So there you go.
Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
Danny,
Thanks
there
for
you go.
that,
I
Danny.
I
Thanks.
feel your pain, except I do it with numbers.
And we might even drop some swag off as well when we come back in June. We want to be able to share the Bitcoin Trend
Mm.
and Forecast love with everybody. But if there is any swag left over, then we can do that perhaps. Yes. All right. Cool. Hang on. Let's just sort this out quickly, Ray. And yes. And yes. All right.
Okay. All right, let's go. So I think we might give 2 bags away because there were so many good answers.
Ooh.
So I'm going to spin the wheel, and the first person is Rick.
Hey, Mr.
Hey, well
Yay.
done.
Yay! Good job, Rick.
That's yeah, that was a great answer. Also, Rick did say he loves winning, but and then I'll read out both of the answers shortly. But you mentioned there might be two, Vicky.
Yes, so I just spun it again, and Gerhard, don't say that name right.
Get the G in
John?
there. Tada.
Okay. Gerhard has won the second bag.
Very good.
Well done.
Awesome.
So
Congratulations.
Yeah.
it's a little different this time. So what we need from the two of you is your address, because it's actually physical products that we're sending you this time. And
Ooh.
you won't get them until probably July, but they will come.
It
So
depends on where you live and your postal
that's
system.
true. So that's true. So if Rick and yep, can
Get
you
out.
Gerard, I have to Gerard. It says it's a G, but it's not a okay, Gerard.
Yes.
Could you please create a Bitcoin Training Podcast support ticket and just tell us the address that you'd like it sent to?
Absolutely. And again, if anybody's going to be in the area, do let us know. Come pop in, and you might get some swag for yourself as well. We are going to be embracing game theory. We will be having a game at our booth as well. Lots of fun. But yeah, for everybody who did enter, yes, congratulations as well. So, pretty exciting stuff. All right, we are going to be, well, at least the people behind the scenes, very hard at work at Bitcoin Conference 2025. We are going to be sharing photos, maybe some live video. We've got a full team in terms of that. So we're going to be looking forward to sharing with you, kind of like we did for ACC 2024 out in Sydney. We might share a bit of a time lapse, maybe some live video. It is going to be a few hours behind in time because it is in Las Vegas. So for those South Africans and Europeans, but for those in the States, I think it's Rick. I'm not sure, definitely Mateus, but yeah, it'll be your normal-ish time, I guess. And we'll be sharing as much of the live content with you. There is going to be a virtual booth as well. All right, all of the information once it's finished being set up will be shared on all the platforms. You guys can come check out our virtual booth, and then we'll share some of the live content and stills as well with you then. So very exciting stuff. Very, very cool. Yeah, we wish as well, Mateus, and definitely wish you guys could come to Las Vegas to meet us as well. Very cool. Well, Invisible Man, thank you for being here, if you're still here. Wendy, thank you. And Vicky, most importantly, for putting this all together. As per usual, great background and great information. We're going to be sharing all of the information we glean from Bitcoin 2025 with all of you at the next Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout in June. Look out for those details on that. And again, congrats to Rick and Gerard. Just in time for those of you who need to attend the DTM call. That's coming up in a minute. But yeah, thanks team. Thanks Vicky. Thanks myself.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Vicky.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Wendy.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Marcel.
And we'll
I
catch you guys
appreciate you, John.
Pleasure.
All
All right,
right.
guys.
Have a good one, everybody.
Take care. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, guys.